This is the Thursday Freakout. Somebody said to me, why don't you do it on Friday if it's a freakout, like the Friday Freakout? Because ain't nobody got time on Fridays. Are you shitting me? Mind your beeswax. Thursday Freakout, Manny Moonraker here, and this is the day that we set aside almost a month ago, about 3 weeks ago. And basically, the day that y'all can put this down on your calendar. Get your Android phone, get your iPhone, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, CST, where you can actually put this on your calendar and know that at 10 p.m. you're not testing the potential of your blue pill. No, you're not doing that. You're going to be slightly not as inebriated as you usually are. Maybe a little less, enough to dial a number or log into your Skype. 10 p.m. Thursdays. This is, I believe it's like the third or the fourth one. But it was just for the month of November, so I can figure out if this really works, right? We have had listeners for a long time say, why don't you do the podcast on a weekly basis at the same time? And actually, if you're a podcaster, you know that that's one of the first things that people will say to you. Be consistent. Have it at the same time, same day, so that people can schedule their lives around when the fuck you want to talk about things. And I'm the complete polar opposite. I don't give a flying fuck about schedules. It's not me. I don't care about no fucking rules either. Like if you notice, you listen to other podcasts about this topic, they don't curse like this because they're fake. They are. They're totally fake. Because you know, even Art Bell sat there behind his bridges and he was cursing his ass off in his head. Motherfucker. Why is he saying that on my show? Yeah. From the other side of the Rocky Mountains, he was angry as fuck, I'm sure. And probably not all the time, right? But I'm sure he had his moments where he wanted to wring some fucker's neck right through the phone. But I don't play that shit. You know right from the get-go that you probably will and can get that reaction from me if you play your cards right. And, what can I say? I aim to deliver. I aim to please. And if that's what you're going for, that's what you're going to get. Whether it's comments on YouTube from folks that are really special and have a lifetime pass to the short bus, or those that just can't get right. They just cannot get right. And I'm not going to lie, there are days where I can't get right. It just comes with the territory, right? Some of the shit you say that comes out of your mouth is like, oh my God, did I just say that? Really? And you can't just help it. You cannot help it. It just fucking comes out that way, and you try to recover, and you reach a point where you're like, fuck it, just fuck it. And now with the podcast, it's the same thing. You guys know, you guys that have been listening, it's a big fuck it, hashtag exclamation point. If I fuck up something, I just keep moving. And, I might say, oh fuck, I just fucked up, but gotta keep the show going. Because that's what it's about. You guys are not here to listen to me try to correct things. You want me to keep it going because you're at your job, you're driving in your car, you're hiding from your spouse so you figure you'll listen to me, or you're on the shitter at work because you're taking an extra long break, and you want me to just get on with it. I feel the same way as you do sometimes, trust me. Before we start the podcast, I just wanted to give a shout out. I've been doing a lot of complaining about the data for the podcast hosts because it's just never on point. It is so ridiculous the way that the data is reported. I can't make heads or tails of it. So in the last, fuck my life. In the last, I want to say 24 hours, but again, I can't really tell. Last 24 hours, I want to say thank you to the folks that listen in the United States of America. That's right, America. Thank you for listening. But it's not the only country. Guys in Canada, I love my Canadian folks, but I can't believe a Canadian native went after Ronnie Dawson the way they did. The United Kingdom, the UK, gotta love the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Sweden, South Africa, Netherlands, Mexico, and then there's Brazil, Ireland, and a few other places. Now, top cities in the last 24 hours, Las Vegas, really? You guys should be out there. That's Sin City, baby. You should be out there at that bunny ranch getting your groove on. But Las Vegas, you're up there. I want to say that this might be Deuce Bigelow, the Space Gigolo, who's listening right now. That's just my take on it. But if you're not Deuce, hit me up. You know how to reach me. Look in the description. It's all in there. Duncan, Canada. Houston, Texas. Oh, monsieur, Houston, Texas. I wonder who's down there in Houston that's listening to the Moonraker. I have no idea. The Bronx, in New York. Those of you who have been listening to the podcast for a while know that is the birthplace of the Moonraker. The Boogie Down, as they like to call it. So for those of you in the Boogie Down, I've been talking about hip-hop tracks, and I've actually got one for this episode. There's no lyrics, strictly instrumental. But man, when I tell you tomorrow, you're going to be whistling this particular track. I guarantee you. And if you do, let me know. Come on. Don't be a sourpuss. There's a reason why I have contact information. Middle River, Maryland. Nice. Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Toronto, Canada. Mechanicsville, Virginia. What the fuck is a Mechanicsville? I'm just saying. Hawthorne, East Australia, and Dublin. There's only one Dublin as far as I know, and that's in Ireland. You know what? Someone actually sent me a message on YouTube about how I say Ireland. Like it can't be Ireland, right? No, you can't say Ireland. I don't think I've ever said Ireland, but that's what he said. They said, I forgot what fucking word they used, but Ireland, it's not Ireland, it's Ireland. Okay, why don't you fucking spell it that way? Get off my back. Welcome to the podcast. This is again known as the Live Thursday Freakout, where you get to call in live. But I got 2 articles that I have to do because I need to get stuff off my chest. By the way, this is episode 302. The episodes have to do with Pareidolias, because Pareidolias is crazy as hell. And by the way, and this is the Thursday Freakout, where you get to do the live shit. And Green Man. Sorry, I've got a lot of rum in me right now. Green Man says he's hiding from the wife. Nailed it. Green Man, I'm telling you, UFO Buster Radio is your getaway from matrimonial blues. And then it adds a little bit of probing on the side. So welcome aboard. Thank you for coming in. But you know what? It's a lot better if you bring the spouse in also, because it saves you a lot of the honey I was, or honey I did, and honey I was, no, honey I love you, because, yeah, just bring her to the dark side. It's okay. But I thank you anyway for joining today. I appreciate the fact that you're on here in the live chat, and I hope to see a lot of the regulars chiming in. As a matter of fact, one of the music breaks, I'm going to try to see if Ronnie Dawson is on. I really want to talk to him about this thing that happened to him. Right now it looks like he's away, so he may not answer, but I'll try later on. I'll send him a message and see if he'll be able to join today's fucking freak out. So without further ado, before I get into these articles, I did pick a line of music, and we're going to start out with the first one, because we have pareidolia to deal with. And there is this thing about pareidolia And you guys who are listening on Friday because you couldn't catch it live, go in there and I want you to just look at Pareidolia. Then I want you to look up the name Scott C. Waring. That is, as I affectionately call him, Pareidolia Pete. Pareidolia Pete, a.k.a. Scott C. Waring. He is a poster child for Pareidolia. But now we have another one. We have another one in science. But let's check out this track first. It's called Blind Love. Because that's what you should have for ufology.
Should've known that it was obvious. Should've read between the lines. Caught the eyes of the audience. Played your game where the rules do not apply. Now I see when it's out in the light. And I'm leaving your love behind. Now I see that you're out of my life. I don't need you. Every day we had another fight. I was far too blind to realize that our love had got out of control. Should've known I was better off alone. Now I see when it's out in the light. And I'm leaving your love behind. Now I see that you're out of my life. I don't need you.
I just want to say this before we get into the first news article. There is nothing more heartwarming than when a listener makes reference to Bugs the UFO Hunter. And Green Man just did that. So that tells me that he's been listening for a while. Yeah, he really has. Green Man, Bugs the UFO Hunter appreciates you listening. He is what we term in life as a fart blossom. He farts on command. Anything he does, the slightest, pressure in his belly, he will he will fart his way out of anything. Hey, Bugs is doing great. He is doing his usual Boston Terrier thing. Does he try to track UFOs? I don't know. The last time he got excited about anything is when we were down at SpaceX facility down in Boca Chica. And I can tell you this much. He enjoyed it. I know I did. Those of you who saw the video that I posted of the drive-bys, like we're in South Cali, just driving by Elon Musk and SpaceX. That was kind of fun. You guys know Bugs the UFO hunter is he's really a part. He's like Big O. He's a significant part of UFO Buster Radio. And if you follow us on Instagram, you know why, because he's quite loved by other Boston Terrier accounts. But he has a bad attitude, and that's the way it is. That's the way UFO Buster Radio is. It's bad fucking attitude all the way around. So it comes with a heavy heart that I got to say this. I got to say that SpaceX and Starship One suffered a tragic event. Tragic event, yeah. So, like I alluded to when I was talking about Bugs the UFO Hunter, I was actually down there in Boca Chica. It was like about a month ago or something like that, and I did some drive-by pictures of Starship One. Or should I say Starship Mark 1. And it was there that the top cone part was sitting on the side because they took it apart after Elon Musk had his big conference because apparently there's wind issues and it's by the beach, right? Like I told you guys, like you drive down Boca Chica Boulevard and once you get past the hopper, pretty much is a fucking beach. Like literally, you could leave from, welding the damn Starship and the hopper, and you could just stroll down to the beach, get on the sand, and jump in the water. Now, you might hit your head with a couple of those floating vessels that come from Mexico. People like jump into it and shit and try to come across the border. And I say this, and it's not even being funny, not a slight on anyone, but there is actually... Yeah, this is a true story. On Boca Chica Boulevard, there is a checkpoint. So you literally, when you're leaving SpaceX's facility, you need to go through a security checkpoint where they ask you if you're a citizen or not. That is 100% true. You guys who want to go down to Boca Chica and check it out, you go through there. One of the things that first flashed through my mind is, how in the fuck do people come down here whenever there's going to be a launch, crowd up the fucking sand dunes and all the hills here, and then, can you imagine the line going through that checkpoint for Border Patrol, just for them to ask you if you are a U.S. citizen or not? That makes me not even want to go down to any fucking launches. Let me tell you, because I've been in Border Patrol checkpoints where it takes for fucking ever. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, the story is that SpaceX has lost its first Starship prototype. And the article is asking whether or not it's a big deal. Fuck yeah, it's a big deal. Are you kidding me? Wednesday afternoon, Starship X, Starship Mark 1, SpaceX, they loaded nitrogen into the prototype version of the Starship vehicle, and they were fucking around with the pressures, right? They basically want to know, is this thing going to make it when we launch it? A lot of the theories have been, since the hopper did so well in its first launch, I mean, the fucking piece flew off of it, but nobody cares about that. There were no human lives hurt. No one was on it. So the theory was that sometime between like October and the end of November, we were going to see the Starship do its thing. Take off. I think the feet was like, 70,000 feet or something like that, between 60 and 70,000 feet, and come back down like the rest of the SpaceX rockets do and land, making it reusable. But it went wrong. There are tons of videos on YouTube right now that show the moment when the top of the fucking Starship just blew the fuck off. And then that's it. That is it. That just kind of blew things away. Like my dreams of going down there and watching Starship take off and land in person went to the shitter expressly. But it turns out the delay for this might be 3 to 4 months. The bad side of it, if you're in Texas, you may not even see the first Starship take off. Yeah, because you know, if you follow SpaceX, that there is more than one Starship being built. There's another one built right now in Florida, not too far from Cape Canaveral. And not only do they have a Mark 1, but they also have a Mark 2 that they're working on. Now, I'm going to be honest. Am I surprised that this fucker blew up? No. I'm not, because when you get up close to it, you're looking at it and you're like, is that bubble gum on the seams? Did they put taffy on that bitch? I mean, who the fuck put this together? These things, I'm going to laugh because it's crazy. The Starship and the Hopper do not look like they can fly. I'll be honest with you. The Hopper looked like a big-ass R2-D2. But when you're up close, not on video, being shot from like half a mile away, when you're up close, the first thing that came to my mind was, how the fuck did this thing get off the ground? These are what they call in the automotive business, these are mules. These are basically, they put these shits together and it's like, fuck, put this there, put it there, put it. They just put it together. That's why the shit does not look smooth. It doesn't. It looks like they got the cheapest labor, just put that shit together, put some gum here, put a little bit of taffy there, get some crazy glue because this thing is sticking out. And then it's like, light the bitch up, let's go. That's what they look like up close. And if you cannot see that in your videos on YouTube, take a ride down there. If you're in Florida, go to Cape Canaveral, spy around there. Take a close look at it. It does not feel like this is something that can fly. But we've seen that they can. Because the fucking Hopper took off with authority and landed the same way. Which is what I expected to see with the Starship, but it's not going to happen. They're looking at about 3 to 4 months of delay because of the fact that the shit got blown the fuck apart. But it was only the top half due to pressure from the nitrogen in the tanks. So more than likely, we'll see it again next year, but not this year. According to SpaceX and this article, it says that SpaceX tried to kind of play it down like it wasn't an accident, like they expected the max pressurization test to stress the system. But they say, we're glad no one was hurt. The company says there were no serious setbacks. It's part of the development process. According to Elon Musk, the fact that the Mark 1 blew the fuck up, it really is part of the testing process. And not only that, but it also adds value to manufacturing because it is a pathfinder. It is what's going to help them design the flight vehicle and helps them to determine whether or not they really need to change the way they are building the Starship. And guaranteed, no one can really argue with that. You lost no human lives. You were able to test the pressures in the build. But again, stop using freaking taffy and gum. Get some good welds on there. I mean, the shit looks scary. Like, I would not fucking put my life or anyone else's life in any of those things, to be honest. But again, these are like mules. These are made to fuck up and crash and blow up. This is the reason why they try to get rid of those Boca Chica residents. Because of this, what happened today. Could you imagine if the lid of that shit flew over and landed in someone's house? Some fucker who was too stubborn to get the fuck out of Boca Chica. That's my message for you guys at Boca Chica, is that, come on, wake the fuck up. One of those pieces for one of those starships is going to end up across your lawn and take out your fucking house. Now, I would think if I'm retiring, I'm next to some beautiful waters. There's beautiful waters all across the fucking globe. Take the fucking money, buy yourself another place that's not going to end up leaving a rocket across your roof. But I digress. So in about 3 to 4 months, you guys, hopefully, and me, will be able to see the Starship take off. Hopefully, not from Florida. Come on, we've seen a bunch of fucking rockets coming out of Florida. Who gives a fuck about Florida? Cape Canaveral, you shut the fuck up. We don't want to see that shit from Cape Canaveral. We want to see that from Texas. And I'm telling you, I will be there with my camera in hand, and I am planning to record this, unless it ends up in a weekday, because I'm a working kind of guy. I can't really just take off during the week just to record a Starship. Go on. I'm blue collar, baby. I told you that. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Look for this in the spring for SpaceX to be able to get their shit together. And again, Elon, Boca Chica, that's where it needs to come out from. Forget about all this other shit. We don't need that to come out from Florida. Come on, it's a retirement state. In Texas, we give 2 fucks. Plus, we got armadillos, so you can't screw around with Texas. You really can't. But in light of what happened, I do want to have a moment of silence for the Starship because it pains me. It really does. Let's kick it. I think this year is going to be like a Krampus Christmas here on UFO Buster Radio. By the way, that was the first of a month-long trip into hip-hop music. That was the instrumental. I know you guys are going to be on the shitter whistling this at work. I just know it. You're going to... I'm telling you. Why wouldn't you? Come on, are you serious? Are you serious right now? But you know what? You'll be able to identify people tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, who listen to UFO Buster Radio, because they'll be whistling in that same shit. I'm telling you. I know I am. You might even identify me in my private life. But check this out. The news article right now that we're going to talk about is talking about pareidolia. Pareidolia, which is a significant issue, a problem when it comes to UFOs, aliens, and so forth, thanks to NASA images. Yeah. We have a special character that we love in ufology, and not just here, but everywhere. His name is Scott C. Waring. We named him, as part of the UFO Buster Radio family, we named him Pareidolia Pete. Pareidolia Pete have seen many a things running wild on Mars, from like rats and old ladies on brooms, faces, hieroglyphs, weapons, aliens, insectoids, reptilians. Pareidolia Pete has named it all. His name is Scott C. Waring, and what he does, he browses pictures from NASA, from the rover, and recognizes things that are familiar to him. And that's what pareidolia is, right? Pareidolia, you can random ass pictures, like a fucking picture of a rock, you will be able to pull out a face. It's like the people who have burnt ass fucking toast and they see Christ on it. Pareidolia. Right? You just make something out of random ass shit and it becomes meaningful to you because of your experience, right? So, I just to throw something out there, people who are working every day to, create, rubber penises. I mean, everywhere they go, they see one. They see a rubber penis. They're on the bus. They see crevices. They see pictures of Mars. And they see dildos everywhere they can look. It's a dildo fest for them. But it's not because they're crazy. It's the work that they do. It's what they have the most experience with in their personal and their work life. So basically, that's what they see. It's a dildo fest. This is happening to a particular scientist. He's an entomologist out of the University of Ohio, and he announced recently. Hey, here's my... I've said this. I even said this, I think this week or last week. I said, science is not giving a shit anymore. Scientists are blue-collar people with degrees. So now, somebody opened the door for them to be okay, to be settled in their ways, and be able to accept that their degree, their studies, does not omit them from having blue-collar dreams. Dreams of aliens and other planets and creation. This particular entomologist from the University of Ohio, his name is William Romoser, and he's a specialist in arbovirology. Fuck, that's a hard-ass word. Arbovirology. Arbovirology, yeah. Say that 3 times and I did. And it's the general medical entomology. And so what he's looking for is, they look at viruses and things like that that comes from bugs and shit like that, not the UFO hunter. But he released a paper, right? And there's actually a press release from the Ohio University State, and it pretty much says that he has spent years examining from Mars images from NASA. And he's found insect-like forms that are similar to bees, reptile-like forms, and in both in fossil and living form. He presented the evidence of this at the November 19th National Meeting of Entomological Society of America. And here's the thing. A lot of scientists are getting brave, but you really need to take the temperature of the water before you jump in. Listen, I can understand if you're someone that's like an astrobiologist, like you specialize in fuckers living in space, like, single-celled amoebas or some shit like that, or other kind of biology, but you're a bug guy. Come on. Stop fucking around. You just fucked up your whole career. I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully not, Romoser. Hopefully you did not. There's a quote from him here that says, "There has been and still is life on Mars." 98% of the scientific community disagrees with you. I just want you to know that. In case you didn't know, because hopefully you're in tune with that. Because like I've said before, Science A and Science B need to read each other's fucking papers and stop fucking around. Leverage each other's knowledge and rubber dickery in order to get to the right answer. The quote continues, "There is apparent diversity among the Martian insect-like fauna, which display many features similar to Terran insects that are interpreted as advanced groups. For example, the presence of wings, wing flexion, agile, gliding flight, and variously structured leg elements." Mr. Romoser, that's fantastic. But I've never seen a flying fucking insect on a Curiosity photo. I don't know what he's talking about. There are no links to this particular image that he's talking about. There's nothing in this article at all. But according to him, the number of photos show clear evidence of life, even though Curiosity is investigating things in a much more incremental, rigorous way, which is another way for saying not fucking life. We've gone to this before. Curiosity is not looking for life. It's drilling holes and shit, burning shit up in this little tester, but it's not looking for chemicals that are the building block of life. It's not looking for anything other than fucking up Earth with weird news that makes no sense because it was not built to measure many of these things. Hence why they're sending the 2020 rover, which apparently is not going to really tell us about life at all. It's looking in the past because no one gives two fucks about that, so might as well just talk about it. At the end of the press release, Professor Emeritus Romoser is quoted as saying this: "The evidence of life on Mars presented here provides a strong basis for many additional important biological as well as social and political questions. It also represents a solid justification for further study." No, it doesn't. Pareidolia doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean you should study anything other than going to see a therapist. Sorry, that was the alcohol talking. Many people have come out of the closet, literally, who normally do not even do press releases or interviews or whatever, and have admittedly pretty much said, "I am a bug person and I find that my pareidolia is strong." Like they're fucking Yoda or something like that. "Yeah, I'm the bug Yoda. Yeah. My pareidolia is like really strong. So I see bugs everywhere. Like when I'm like in line somewhere, everyone looks like an insect." Yeah, so there really is a bunch of articles out there from other bug people saying that they literally experience pareidolia and they see bugs in all kind of shapes and things, but they understand that it's because of the work they do that's what they look for. That's what they examine. That's what they research. That's what they're trained on. I'm sorry, but I don't see my work in anything other than my work. So I don't understand how pareidolia works. There's got to be some kind of a deep-rooted issue in the individual for them to take your work and build it into everyday life for some reason. To recognize those shapes. Could you imagine the folks that are working on the dildos, what they see if they have pareidolia? It's kind of like, what's that, Tootsie Roll commercial. You know, the world looks mighty good to me because Tootsie Roll is all I see. Could you imagine someone that, puts dildos together, that's all they see all the time? Well, that's what's happening with this bug guy. That's what happens with Scott C. Waring. He sees all these shapes all the time on Mars. He sees all these UFOs off the sun. None of it backed by credible evidence. And unfortunately for our Professor Emeritus at Ohio, he's too far fucked. He's got no real evidence. So unless he can convince Elon Musk to get his ass on the final Starship on the way to Mars so that he can prove that there were bugs surrounding the Curiosity rover, he might as well just retire now. They're probably going to get fired. They're going to fire him, move him to somewhere else just because he spoke too soon. Is it possible that we have bugs on there? Is it possible there be something lurking just under the dirt at Mars? Yeah, of course there is. We just reported there's strangely some oxygen out there. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen, carbon. All these things lead to life. But sadly for this guy, it leads to the unemployment line. Sorry, Professor. You spoke too fucking soon. You screwed up.
1, 2, 3, 4. What about the world we both believed in? What about the word that made it so? What about your blood boiling crazy when you're just aching for her love like you could blow? You're like a broken record. What about the road less traveled? What about the chances we would take? What about the dreams we unraveled? What about the bright and shiny future we would make? What I
That was the song Broken Record. By the way, Big O is chiming in right now, but I need to make sure that I am technically sound in order for you guys to listen to what he has to say. So we're going to play one more song because it's the end of the world. Big O is on the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, that was called This is the End of the World. And today, for this Thursday Freakout, it's a Big O.
What's going on, guys? I'm back.
Big O, you sound like a little tired. What are you doing?
I'm exhausted. I got to head to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. I just happened to remember that it was a Thursday night freak out, so I decided to call in and freak out a little bit.
I like the freak out. So what do you think about the the bug guy noticing bugs on the rover pictures.
Okay. So he figures out that, hey, I see bugs. He's a bug guy, which is great. But is he the only person that sees this? Is he forcing a perception on to everybody else by looking at it that way? I'm not sure. And the pictures are horrible anyway. Millions of dollars on these rovers, and these pictures are crap. Might as well call it a UFO.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. You probably didn't catch it because you were probably on the road, but I was like, if you build dildos all your life, that's all you're going to see.
Exactly. I mean, if you're into any profession, if you do it long enough, that's all you see. Like, if you're a person who works for like Safe Light Auto Glass, Safe Light repairs, anyway, and you
I don't know
become into that. As you dive into that profession of fixing auto glass, you see cracked windshields miles away on the highway. I used to do it. It's horrible. Like, oh my God, that person has a cracked windshield. I mean, that's all you see day in and day out. So I think it's more, there's a possibility, absolutely, but it could be the fact that he's forcing his perception of his profession onto us.
Yeah, and he could be suffering from pareidolia, which is because it's something you're experienced most of your life and you're trained in it. When you see random ass images, you pick up on things that look familiar from what you were trained on. So he could see a thorax, he could see wings and random ass things that no one else would be able to pick it out.
I mean, if you give him random ink blocks, that's probably all he fucking sees is insects at this point. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Sadly enough, that's the way it is. I feel sorry for people who build those penises because it's a sad life to go around and see penises everywhere. What's so funny?
Can you imagine somebody who works at the factory and just coloring and filling penises all day, and as they walk out into the world, they're like, that's a number 7 penis in that person's pants.
But it's the truth. I'm telling you, there was a meme on Facebook, and it was this guy, and he had one in his hand, but he was surrounded by like 50 of them. I mean, you basically, you don't notice anything other than it's like a forest of penises that you have to paint and fondle every day.
I mean, it definitely detaches reality for you if you do something like that every single day. Because imagine though, like if you're a female worker and you work around a factory like that, I want to talk to somebody a female worker who works in a factory like that now. If they work like that day in and day out, the expectation that they have must be horrible. Anyway, back to the whole...
Yeah, let's just go back because that... I don't know. I don't know if that's pareidolia what you were just talking about. That's something totally different.
Going down the wrong path.
Yeah,
but
that's...
Still, going towards, like I said, the what is he? Entomologist?
Yeah, entomologist.
No, I said that wrong. It is, okay. Going with that, I feel that definitely a second opinion. Somebody who's not in that profession, maybe. But from what the pictures are and what it is and the cameras, it's definitely pareidolia. Pareidolia?
Yeah, I think you're right because the image for this particular episode is one of the images that he used in his presentation. And no, if you took away all his NFL type of a scribble, like his play action on the bug, you would not be able to recognize that was a bug.
Like, you go over here, like, boom, right there. That's the thorax. Thorax. Yeah. If you lead over here, boom, that's the head. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
And
I don't
actually,
see it.
the one thing to point out is that the paper that he presented in front of that committee actually was not peer reviewed. So no other rubber dicker in science wanted to put their name on that.
Well, wouldn't it be? Now let's give this to science now. The science people. Wouldn't it be more of a rubber dicker move to not discuss it with your peers first before you try to publish something?
Well, I think that at his heart of hearts, right, he knew deep down inside that he probably couldn't find anyone to peer review it.
I think they didn't want to. I mean, honestly, they're like, you're basically claiming there's something going on Mars, and these pictures are not really that great. I'm good. I don't even try.
Yeah.
I mean, who
it
would
doesn't help him that
sign
a
off?
lot
Even
of
if we found out yes or no.
well, the thing is that a lot of entomologists came out after the article and started saying, "Yeah, I see freaking beetles everywhere I walk."
Mm-hmm. Everywhere. Now,
But
the cool thing would be is that if there were signs, like if an entomologist was to review all of the rover footage and any clear images of the ground, they're able to see tracks or markings of some type of life, then it will make that more solidified. But nobody's going to do that.
no, they're not. And the thing is that what we have to consider is it possible that there can be bugs living on Mars? I think so.
Well, there's already microcombia. There's already microbiology on Mars. It's been proven, right?
Well, kind of, but not really.
Oh, well, to my knowledge, I can honestly see there's definitely, there's a micro, I can't even talk right now. I'm so tired. But I believe there's microbiology happening on Mars all day long. 100%. I don't see why not. No matter what they say, there's lacking of oxygen or lacking of water or whatever the context is, there's still some there. It can happen. Right? I mean, we find microbiology in the weirdest places here on Earth where there shouldn't be anything living, and we still do. So that, yes. Now, complex organisms like bugs, I don't think anything on the surface, but maybe underground, maybe. See that? Because we have no idea what's in the ground, so none whatsoever.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, eventually we will. We'll get something up there that's actually going to measure and look for life, but right now there isn't anything really scheduled that's going to actually look for physical evidence of life, just more fossils. But by the way, I wanted to say a special shout out to Guter, who is in the live chat right now, and he says he's stuck. He's stuck at the fields working like a blue collar guy.
Oh, I don't even see him on the iPad.
So there you go. That's the story.
I'm on the live chat too.
What's that?
I'm on the live chat too. I don't see him. What live chat are you talking about?
I don't know. I guess you're not refreshing enough.
I guess.
Yeah.
Garbage.
But anyway, those are the two stories for today. We left the line open, 972-290-1329. It'll be open for about 10 more minutes. We're past the hour mark. We haven't heard from anyone other than Big O, who decided to chime in half asleep. But those are the breaks.
I do want to say that the whole SpaceX thing and the explosion, that's all conspiracy shit.
Wait. How is that conspiracy?
Oh, really? Somebody sabotaged that whole situation. They were just complaining. Everybody was just complaining, signing things off so that he won't send up any more Starlink satellites. And next thing you know, there's an explosion on the SpaceX. I'm telling you right now, they don't want him moving forward anymore.
Wait a minute. I would more believe that a bunch of pencil neck geeks with the pocket protectors got down there and fucked up the thing so that he wouldn't shoot anything else up.
But that's my point. That's what's going on. They are trying to stop him from moving forward.
Have you seen some of the? Have you seen some of the images of the satellites? How they appear to Starlink at night?
Yeah, I can't wait to see if I can see him up here. I want to see if I can take pictures of it. It looks pretty cool. It looks definitely like a UFO formation type deal. You know, I can see why people will panic on it too, because nobody really knows. Nobody is keeping up with the times and all that other stuff. And to be honest, unless you're really into ufology or anything scientific or techie, it's not going to come up on any of your feeds when it comes to like Facebook or any social media unless you're following it. So I could see how they just, oh my God, UFOs, call it in. This is a national emergency. Why does nobody do nothing? But still, it's pretty cool.
But to give a shameless plug, if you were following UFO Buster Radio on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you would have seen the images.
Oh, not only seen the images, you know exactly what's going on. That's another reason why people should listen to UFO Buster Radio, because how else would you not know? You just not only got to know what's going on, but you got to know everything that's leading up to that point. And getting the blue collar, point of view. Forget what the scientists are saying. Fuck out of here. We don't give a fuck about them. I want to know what everybody thinks. I want to know what the common person thinks. That's why you should call in right now and freak out with us.
So here's a question from me to you. Are you like trying to hide somewhere? Because you sound like you're whispering kind
of. I'm always hiding. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You're like in some toilet and you don't want the people in the stall next to you to hear you.
Well, no, I'm not in the toilet. I'm in my home. But I'm always hiding. What are you talking? Why you got to bring awkward stuff up? Why you had to make this all awkward? Jesus.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You're like whispering, like those people. Like I've seen people who
it's
who
11
sit in the
o'clock
stall
at night here. I mean, what do you want me to do? Just scream at the top of my lungs? Like, I am a UFO Buster Radio personality? No, I'm not trying. No, stop making it weird.
No, that's perfect. That's what you should do. Just go out to the balcony and just do that.
No, it's too cold for that shit. It's like that. It's like even 19 degrees outside. I'm good.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Well, those are the stories that I have for today. Anything else you've come across lately in your experiences there, Big O?
Actually, where the town I am in, right? I'm starting to get in more with the locals. And hopefully, on the next Thursday night freakout, I'm trying to see if I can get people who had experiences of UFOs from my local town here. So I've been talking to a few bartenders and a few bars. I'm not going to name their names and not going to promote them, but probably will later on after I talk to the owners and try to get them to call in more for the Thursday night freakout.
Yeah, so just so everyone knows, what state are you calling from?
North Dakota. Yeah, I'm only an hour away from the border of Canada, so this is like mini Canada. It gets colder than fucking Canada. I don't get it. But yes, I'm in North Dakota. I'm 30 minutes away from Montana and about an hour and a half away from Canada.
Jeez, what's the temperature tonight?
The temp tonight, I'll tell you exactly how cold as balls it is right now. Oh, it's 25 degrees and it feels like 16.
Well, you're okay then. You will not get probed because your butthole is too tight right now.
Pretty much, I'm on lockdown.
Yeah, it's not going to happen for you tonight. It's got to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to be at least above 32 degrees to thaw out the butthole. I know.
Yeah.
Which is why, one of the main reasons why I moved to North Dakota, so that way I could stay locked in.
Yeah, it's a natural deterrent.
Natural deterrent of probing. Absolutely.
Well, listen, we're going to, I guess, shut this down because no one seems to be calling. I do want to thank, number one, Big O. Also, I want to thank Guter for chiming in, and also Greenman, because, hey, it's part of UFO Buster Radio family. I thank you guys for listening and being part of this. Big O, any last words before we shut this down with this track called The Bird?
The Bird's the word. No, just do whatever you can. Share UFO Buster Radio. We can't get bigger without you guys. We appreciate the fans, and we definitely want to bring you more content. So the more you share, the better the content is going to be.
Yeah, and the one thing you guys want to do, if you're really into this topic, you want to get into UBR Truth Seekers, if you are on Facebook, and get in there and talk some shit, post some stuff, share some information, and see what kind of reaction you get from the folks. But like Big O said, you want to share stuff, so get on the Twitters, get on Instagram, Facebook, share it. But above all, sometimes it really helps to share it with the people you know who trust you and your opinion, and let them know. It's not coast to coast. We give two fucks about anything other than sharing that blue-collar perspective. Ain't that right, Big O?
Exactly. Absolutely. That's how we roll.
Yeah. So, I'm going to say ciao for now.
All right, guys. Yep. Ciao. This is from Big O and Manny Moonraker giving you another Thursday night freak out.
Peace.